Whenever you schedule a meeting, you're making a declaration. You're saying, this thing, this topic we're going to talk about, this is worth spending some of the rare and precious moments of my and your finite lives on. I understand that we could all be gone tomorrow or next week or the week after. You know, none of us knows how long we have on this earth. But however long it is, I do know that we should spend some of this time together in this meeting. Yeah, okay. Maybe that's a bit dramatic, but while it's not practical to manage everything in your life with this kind of passionate scrutiny, it is important to recognize that when you schedule a meeting and reserve other people's time, you're making a statement about priorities. You're saying that this is what matters most right now. And of course, there's always the chance the other people you've invited have different priorities. You know, other work they might like to do or other things going on that you have no idea about. So with this in mind, let's look at some guidelines to help you schedule with respect. 1. Minimize interruption. Now, the easiest way to minimize interruption is to, hold on. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry? Where was I? Okay. Oh, yes. Minimizing interruption. So scheduling with respect means only scheduling meetings you really need and trying to leave everyone with big, uninterrupted time for focus work, because every time someone's interrupted and it takes them, extra long to finish remembering what they were doing. So stopping work, leaving, then coming back and trying to remember what it was. What was I saying? You know, that all takes extra time. So this extra time is called the task switching penalty. And the research suggests that it can take an extra 10 and up to 50 minutes for people engaged in deep, focused work to recover from an interruption. So let's look at how you might schedule meetings on the calendar. 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and 2 p.m. Those are really popular times for meetings. And if we just consider time spent in the meeting, it looks like this. But, you know, that's not how it works in reality. In reality, people have to stop what they're doing, get to the meeting, and then afterwards get restarted in what they were doing again. So if we set the time switching penalty at a conservative 20 minutes, a better view of how much time each meeting demands looks like this. And we're not even counting the pre-work or any of that yet. So there are a couple of ways you can improve this picture. One way to think about minimizing interruption is to just, flip it and find ways to protect focus time. Time blocking, where you and your team set aside big chunks of inviolable time and block them off as like no meetings allowed. That is the easiest way to do this. At my company, for example, we never schedule meetings on Tuesdays, which means we all know we have that time dedicated for getting work done. Another strategy you can use is to schedule meetings next to natural transition times. This is why teams who all work in the same location will hold their daily check-in meeting first thing in the morning or during a shift change, right before lunch. And at the end of the day are also natural transition times. Meetings scheduled at the transition times cut the task switching cost because people were already interrupted then. They're not switching twice. Now, these strategies are strategies you can and should use with your core team and for any ongoing projects you're running. They're harder to apply when you're working in cross-functional groups or with people outside your organization. So for those meetings, just be mindful that you will be interrupting other work in progress. So you need to make sure your meeting is worthy of that investment. 2. Allow for the transitions. The second guideline for scheduling with respect is really simple. Never schedule back-to-back meetings. Always give people 5 or, better yet, 10 minutes between meetings so they can check in, get physically into their next meeting and take care of themselves. So when the CEO of Google made it a company policy to leave 10 minutes between every meeting, he explained it like this: everyone deserves to pee. Okay, so that's the first 2. Minimize interruption and allow time for transitions. Next, we'll talk about the 4 tips for scheduling meetings to get the results you're after.